Okay guys, this is the free file for the 12 Days of Christmas. Couple ways you can do this. I put my little peppermint piece on each side. I thought these were really cute, using some acetate and stuff, and you can skip the acetate if you don't want to use that. But it is the Cricut foil acetate. I am using it. I thought these were really cute. I only decorated the front, but you could do both sides, do something different on each side. They will hold the Ghirardelli chocolates and the York Thins. You can get two of either kind in there, or you can mix and match like I did. So, what you want to do, and I have fixed the file since I cut mine. I did not create this box. I just kind of sliced the handles off of it. And there was a little bit of an issue that I ran into, and you may or may not run into it, but I'm going to show you how to fix it just in case. You're just going to fold on all those score lines away from you. Okay. And to make it easy, I am going to put one of my handles on now. Oops, I need the handle. I have a handle piece just like this. And I have little cardstock hairs right there. I'm going to clip those off. And I'm just going to put, it's just a mini brad. You can get these at Hobby Lobby, Michael's, Amazon. Just going to put it through both holes, and then we're just going to open that up. Just makes it a little easier if you do it now than it does if you do it later. Just going to come in on this side, and we're going to place that brad there and keep it on the outside of the box, and just open that up. Now you can resize this to a larger box if you want to. I just wanted a small, well, tiny box. And you can use your glue, or you can use a tape runner. And I'm just using a tape runner for this. Get it on the outside of my box there. And we're just going to bring that up. That's something in my glue. Yuck. It was on my tape runner. It must have got some marker or something on it. It doesn't look good on that white cardstock either. I'm just using a gum eraser. And this one's super sticky. Let me grab a fresher one. Just going to remove that glue. You can get these glue erasers on scrapbook.com, Amazon. It's just called a gum eraser. I don't know what I had in my glue there. Just going to get that up. There we go. Let's try that again. So once you have that on there, I'm sorry, and then you're just going to line that up and get it stuck down. Okay. Fold in your tabs, and then you're going to fold in this tab right here, and it's kind of a snug fit. So I do recommend gluing that. So I'm just going to put a, oops, helps if I take my pen out, a little glue there. You can glue the whole thing, totally up to you. And we're just going to tuck that in. And you can see it on the inside, and it's not touching. So, like I said, I did not make this box. I just cut the top off. So I'm just using my bone folder and going in there and pressing that down so that it creates a seal. Okay, so it doesn't, the bottom doesn't fall out when you're doing that. Now your foil acetate does have a plastic liner on it. It's Cricut. I left my liner on here. You want to peel that off. And you want to make sure that if you're using a front and back, that the front and backs are lined up, because you can see that one side lines up and then this side doesn't line up. You might have to flip it over. Might be on the wrong side. There we go. You want it to line up just like that. And I know that's kind of hard to see, but you want both pieces to line up. Okay? And with them like that, just like that, we're going to take these two pieces and we're going to glue them. I'm just going to glue that together to make our peppermint piece. And the same with the other one. Try not to get glue on the other side. I'm just going to line that up. How cute are these? And again, if you don't want to put anything on there, you can just glue that right to the box like that. Totally up to you, however you want to do it. But I'm just going to put some glue. Again, I'm using Art Glitter Glue. I'm going to stick it right to the front. And it has a little bit of this edge all the way around it. And then I'm going to lift with these two. They're not really stuck together, but making sure that they are aligned the right way because these ends are so different. Just going to flip the whole thing over. And then I'm going to glue this one on. That way I know I'm gluing this to the correct side. I'm just going to glue that. And then we can take those two apart. That way when you glue it on the front and back of your box, you know that you've got it right. And I'm just going to run a little bit of glue on the top of that. And I just moved my, make sure that we got it right, and I do. Top and bottom. Just going to stick this on. You just want to glue it right so that the bottom is right at the bottom of the box. Now I'm going to double check, and that's right. I'm going to flip that over and do the same thing. I'm just going to push that little box down. And they should be even. How cute is that? Then I'm using a piece of the smooth glitter paper from Cricut. I'll show you guys that here in just a second. And I'm just gluing that to the center. And then I'm using a foam dot right on the back of my candy canes, and that is a print and cut. You can change that out if you want to change it out for something different. And then we're just going to place it right in the center. And I'm just putting my finger inside to press that down so I don't collapse my box. How cute is that? And then you can just bend your handle out of the way because it's on the eyelets. It will rotate and drop in your candies. And it's super simple, super quick, and easy. Again, those are the mini brads that you can get from Michael's and Hobby Lobby, scrapbook.com, Amazon. And then I used white Cricut paper. Hopefully that's gonna, you guys can see that. It's the white Cricut paper. The acetate I used was out of the tailored sample from Cricut. And you can see where I cut. I got 2 boxes and still have, I think you can get 4 boxes out of a sheet. And this is the smooth glitter paper. I used the gold and silver. I used a piece of silver out of there. So lots of things that you can do with these products. I hope that you've enjoyed your free 12 Days of Christmas files. This is day 12 and concludes the free files. Okay, guys, here we are. This is day 12. This is the one-time monthly, the one-time supporter file and the monthly supporter file. If you subscribe monthly, you will get this file. If you subscribe on July 26th, you can get this file for one-time support rather than monthly. After July the 26th, you will have to be a monthly supporter to get this file. Now, I've already done a little bit of prep work just to save some time. I have gone around the edges of some of my print and cut pieces just so I didn't have white edges, because I did use white paper. Now, if you want to do color paper and pictures together, you could do that. Just unflatten it in the file. I did use the Cricut gel pen 1.0 in the gray, okay, for my draw. But if you want to change yours to glitter or whatever, you can do that as well. It's also used the same pen on this brick pattern here. So what you're going to do is you're going to get this piece here and you're going to fold it on all its score lines, just like so. Oops. Try to keep yours straight and not get out of line like I just did. Hopefully it'll be okay. And then we have one here. And what we're doing here is creating a little fireplace box. So cute. And we have one here. And then your bottom tabs. Some sticky from the last project still on my desk. Yeah. And you want to burnish that as well. Now I'm just going to kind of temporary tape this edge just a little bit, just to hold it and get the stick where it needs to be. And you'll see why here in just a sec. So I want to hold that in there. I'm going to make sure that my box is straight and square. I want this piece to the back. And because I had writing on here, I couldn't really put a score or anything in there. And as long as you've got it just about in there like you want it, just so it shows like that, I'm just going to take my pen, and I'm using a black, and I'm just going to put a dot there. So it tells me where the top of that is. So when I glue it, I can slide it in place. I just made a little dot. I mean, you can barely see my dot right there. That way, if I happen to miss and don't cover it, it'll be okay. I'm just going to put a little glue on this piece. And this is just going to help give some depth and dimension in the project. See, that's what I mean. I knew that it didn't come out of there. I didn't put enough glue to get slide. And then I had my box piece in the way. Make sure you fold yours up so you can get in there. And I'm using art glitter glue, so it will dry flat and clear, and it'll be fine. I'm making that more difficult than it needs to be. There we go. Should have just unpopped it. Just going to use my glue eraser and get some of that glue off where I made my boo-boo. It's not straight. I'm being a little OCD about it now, but I know where it needs to go. I've got my dot, so I'm opening it back up. That's what my temporary was for. And I just want to line it up right at the top of that dot. And then get it straight in there. There we go. Much better. Just take my... This is a gummy eraser. You can get that at scrapbook.com and on Amazon, Office Supply. I'm just going to look at it. That looks good. When I'm looking down in there, I can see that. And we're just going to glue this tab. I'm just going to fold this flat like this and bring this side over. I'm having a really tough time keeping things square today. There we go. And again, that will dry matte and clear. Just give it a good rub. And then you're going to fold in these two tabs. And I want my fold to be to the back, so I'm going to fold that tab last. I'm going to bring this one in, put my glue here. If you want to glue those inner tabs, you can. Right here. Totally up to you. I'll just stick a little on there. And fold that over. And then take my bone folder and rub that down where I glued those. How stinking cute is this? Now I am going to get my threads. There we go. So I'm just going to grab, I think, a little red one. Just a tiny brad is all I have here. And and the brad is absolutely obsolete. You don't have to have it, guys. But I'm taking my transparency, which is the light blue in the file, and my brad, and I'm putting it through the transparency, and then, oops, I just said that backwards. Through the Santa's legs, and then the transparency. Then I'm just going to open that up. Now I don't want to open it up too much. I want it to be able to swing just a little bit. So when we put that in there, it's going to be right here. You're not going to see that brad, but from the inside you will. And that's what this cover is for, okay? Because it's not supposed to move a whole lot, just a little bit, just to give it some interest if they try to move it. If you don't have any brads, don't worry about it. Just glue it. Glue that to your transparency and then glue this piece inside. So to get this placed, just going to run a bead. Now you see why I have my gummy eraser. Get that off my desk. Just going to run a little bit around. Just to hold it in place for me. Bring it up just a tiny bit. There we go. And just stick it. Just going to flip it over. And you can see where I glued my black piece. That will go away as it dries, when it gets really good and dry. It's because I'm using red cardstock. And so he has some little dangly legs here. How cute is that? Then we're going to glue this onto the back of that transparency. Now, if you want to do this before you build the box, you could certainly do that too. I just like to see where I'm going with it and what I'm doing. So I do mine last. I'm just going to pop that in. And And take my bone folder and press it down. Just so I can glue it all in. Okay. How cute is this? Okay, now this piece is my mantle, and I ran it through an embossing folder. I used a wood grain Doris embossing folder. Whatever wood grain embossing folder you have should work. We're just going to give that a fold. Kind of messes up your score lines, but you can still see them. It's just kind of rough trying to fold it after it because it wants to follow those embossing lines instead of, it might, I would actually, second go around, fold it, then emboss it, and then fold it again. Will help. You're just going to fold your tabs back. And the tabs are glued to the inside. So we're just going to, put the glue on the inside, not the outside. And we're just going to create our lid. Keeping it square. And set my box. As a matter of fact, I'm using Hershey Kisses, and I'm just going to throw, I don't have quite enough, but these are enough. Hershey Kisses kind of look like my flames in the fireplace, or just candies. You can use any kind of candies you want. How cute is that? And then we are going to take this piece and, let's see, doesn't really matter. My embossing looks about the same on both sides. Depending on what folder you use, you may want the other side to be your front. Glue on one side, and we're going to bring it and place it on this piece flush against the bottom. Just going to get that straight. So it's just nice and flush right against that lid down there. Let me give that a second to dry. How cute. I'm loving this file. Then I am going to, I haven't decided if I want to pop dot that. So that goes right over the top of the fireplace. Just like so. And I think that I do want to pop dot this. Totally up to you. Actually, I'm going to glue this and pop dot the other. So I'm just going to put a touch of glue on each side and place my banner. And there are all sorts of garland banners in Design Space. I flattened this one just so I could get a different color red from the red paper I was using, and then green bows, but you can do gold bows. You can do whatever you want. You could even tie bows and place them in there. And let's see. And I used the silver or gray pen on this one as well. That's this one. Where's that? This one. That's this one. There is a difference in the two bows. I've already contoured those and done everything for you, and reattached the cut lines. I've changed them to draw on this particular image for you. How adorable. And I am going to pop dot my stockings as well. I probably should use my black foam squares for this, but the white ones were sitting here, so that's what I grabbed. Twist that one a little bit more. How adorable is that lid? Okay, and then you have two banners, and they say Merry Christmas to all, and to all a good night. And I am also going to pop that up. Just going to go ahead and set it on top of that box. How cute. And I'm just going to place 2 or 3 on here just so it doesn't bend in the middle. Let's do this one also. So I'm going to check and see where I want these to land. Those are cute. So I'm going to flip it around so I can see it. I can't see over my lid. There's no need to do this the hard way. Push down and see if it will release. These are really, really, really sticky dots. I don't know if it's a fresh batch or an old batch, but it doesn't want to let go the release paper. Just going to press that one down. And this box is really quick. It takes longer to cut it than it does to put it together. If your pop dots or foam dots work for you. It just doesn't want to let go. It's up. It's really stuck. There we go. And that is all there is to putting this box together, guys. How super cute is that? And I didn't use the Cricut foil acetate on that. I wanted mine to be clear, so it's just totally up to you. And I should have moved my Santa legs up just a little higher, but that's okay. Make sure you get yours up high enough, but the banner does cover if you happen to get it too low like I did. All right, super cute. You guys, I hope you enjoy this file. This concludes day 12 for the one-time supporter and monthly supporter file. Next up is our monthly only exclusive file, and I will catch you on that part of the video. Okay, guys, this is the file for my monthly supporters. I greatly, greatly appreciate you guys. I hope that you have enjoyed the 12 days of Christmas in July. This file will complete the 12 days, and you should have gotten 36 files total for the 12 days of Christmas, and with the exclusives, the one-time support and monthly, and the freebies. So this is what I'm calling the Christmas lantern. you know, something that's kind of classic, you're going to need a sheet of transparency or your Cricut foil acetate. I am just using regular transparency on mine. Depends on the look that you want for what you use. I'm using green Cricut cardstock. I intentionally pulled this off the mat so that it would curl. If yours is not curled when you take it off the mat, just take a bone folder or something and give this fringe a little bit of curl, or some extra curl, I should say. And then you're going to cut off about half an inch, I'm going to say, off that bottom. Yeah, right at half an inch. Simply because it was already designed in Design Space, so I didn't have to make it. Plus I wanted those little pointed ends. I wanted them to be a little bit different. So this was already in there with a different holly leaf, but I didn't like the holly leaf. So I wanted to use this piece out of there. I did not design this piece, but it's just a fringe piece. And I had to contour it to shorten it, and if I did that, then we lost the outside cut lines. So I just decided it was much easier for you guys just to trim off a half inch off the end of each one of those than it was to go through all of that in the file. So, and if you're doing a bunch of them, I would just insert a 1.675 score line, change it to cut, rotate it to 90 degrees, and bring it down about a half inch and attach it to these, and then let the machine cut it, and then you can just throw these pieces away or use them for something else. So you should have your fringe pieces. Make sure all your fringe is separated at the end, and then you have your holly berry. And I made a bow, and all I did was take 2 pieces of ribbon. These are about 18 inches long, 16, 18, whatever you have. One's a little bit shorter than the other, and that's perfectly fine. But all I did was take 2 loops, what I call the rabbit ear bow, just with them stacked, and tied that half knot, just pushing that loop through there. And want to keep it straight. I apologize, my puppy is going to start whining. She's been a handful tonight. Just tighten it, make it pretty. I might have to tie that one again, but you get the gist. And then cut your tails off like you want them. And then once you do, then you can just pull these 2 apart, okay? And that's going to give you your double bow. And I'll show you how to make those stay here in just a minute. Just in case, I wanted you guys to know how I did that. Then you've got your holly berry pieces. Now I don't know that I'm going to use it. This is just a little brad that I got at the Scrapbook Expo. And it's just a little cardinal. I may use that, I may not. You don't need it. It's just a little extra. And then 2 little brads. And again, you don't have to have these. I'm going to show you, if you don't have the tiny brads, a workaround. Okay? And then you have your main lantern piece. These can be really tricky to fold because they're so narrow. So take your time. And we're just going to start on this first solid score line. And we're going to fold and just walk our way down. And you may need to take your nail or get your spatula, your scraper I mean, and put it in there to help you get that fold going right through that thin area. And then you do want to burnish it. Get that crisp line going. Okay. And then you're going to go to the second one and do the same thing. And again, I'm just going to use my scraper just to give me something to push on while I fold that over and get it started. And it should follow it along without any problem. and then you can burnish it down, right down through that side. I could have made those thicker, but I didn't like the look of it thicker. So, and right here, same thing, you may have to do it on this side too. Just get your scraper in there to help you get it started. Make sure you keep it straight, not like I just did. There we go. Just to get a little bit of a crimp going on it, and then it should follow for you to use your bone folder. Okay. Then you want to come up here and you have scores on a diagonal here. These are going to be pushed back, so you can fold that back right there in that crease if you want to help get that going on that diagonal. It's not really hard to fold, it's just a little awkward, but just kind of pinch it in and then use your bone folder and press it down. Okay, so you're creating that little V. This on the end, you're just going to create that one fold back. And you've got another funky fold here. Don't bend your card like I did. Don't want to do that. Keep it nice and straight. There we go. Just kind of pinch it. And then this last one. The last funky one. Just kind of wiggle it in there. And then you just have this half one. And then you've got a funky tab here. And you'll see why that this tab is funky, because we didn't want it to show in the window. And again, you may need your scraper right here. Doesn't matter if you have the big one like I do or the small one. They both work. Just want to kind of get it going. There we go. Break that fiber and then you can get it to fold. Alright, and then you're going to come along down here to the bottom and you're going to fold all four of those in. I can't believe I bent my cardstock right there. Hopefully that won't show bad once I get it together. And then we're going to burnish across the bottom. Now, if you want to cut another hole over here, you want to line it up, you can. I just wanted it for the sturdiness in the back, and just have it from 3 sides, because I didn't want my box to be flimsy, okay? But if you want to cut yours out, you feel like it'll be okay for whatever you're going to put in it, you can duplicate this whole sheet, and you want to hide all the contours except these 4. And then you want to move those over and line them up with this one. You can put a line in, a score line, and change it to draw and pick a color that you can see against that and put it right at the top, and then you can line that piece up with this and slice it out. Okay? And if you have trouble, you need to do that, let me know and I'll help you out. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to come over here and we're going to use our... Almost messed up. I almost messed up. We're going to do our panels first, just because it's going to be easier if we do it now. And I'm really wanting to use some glue dots, I think, for this transparency. I may change my mind and use glue, but right now... And they do go a certain way. It is taller than it is longer. There we go. Because you don't want it in your score line area. And I guess I will just use a little glue. So I'm just going to go right along this edge. I'm not going inside because I don't want, this dries matte and clear, and I really don't want it on my transparency. I'm going to make sure I have it like I want, and I'm just going to pop that down in there. Just going to give that a second to take, and we're going to move on to the second one. And this clear transparency, if you don't have any of this, this is for like the overhead projectors for schools. It's not the printable kind. If you don't have that, you can use an old Cricut matte sheet, the foil acetate. Of course, the foil acetate isn't completely clear. A piece off some other packaging. Make sure that when you're putting that down that it's your fold line is not going to make it pop loose. Okay, you want to keep it off that score line. And then we're going to go on this last one. And we're going to pop that one down. And if you don't feel that that's going to hold, you can cut a second handle and just cut them in like little 2-inch pieces, and then you can glue a 2-inch strip right there at the top and the bottom of each one of these, and that will help hold it in. I don't feel like it's necessary. Another thing that you can do is just your transparent tape, and you can pop a piece on there if you want. Just to hold your transparencies down, just in case they are pop loose from the glue for whatever reason. They'll still be hidden. You won't see them. The black, well, that was the end of that. The black paper just won't show. It will show the least, if anything shows at all. But super simple, easy ways, just in case it bothers you or you're scared to use it that way. Usually I cut, for my boxes and stuff with lids, I will cut an inside panel, but I really didn't feel this needed it. But just in case any of you are wondering why I didn't do that, that are used to me doing that, that's why. I just didn't think we needed it. And then you're just going to put some glue on this panel. We're just going to fold it over, and then we're just going to fold this panel over. Give it a rub. I don't know how I got glue there, but I did. Give that a chance to stick. And then we're going to flip it over. And my seam is back here, so, and I'm not even. Make sure you get yours good and even. I don't know how I slid off there, but I did. I'm gonna leave it. Make sure you get yours good and straight. I can see, you shouldn't be able to see that through the window. So I just got off there a little bit. So anyway, the bottom, now I'm not stuck. I've got my back seam back here, so I want this to fold back last. So I'm going to do the two sides, and if you want to glue those together, you can. Not a big deal. Just put a little glue and a little there. Fold that side over, and then the back tab. We're going to fold that back. And I'm just going to go in with my bone folder and give that a press down. Okay. How cute. Now, don't worry about that being open. We're going to take care of that in just a second. Before I go any further, I'm going to put my handle on. And I'm just going to put my brad through the hole in the end. Now, if you don't have a brad, just line your hole up right here and glue it down. Now, it won't be movable like mine is, but you can glue it down right here, and then you can use an enamel dot or Nuvo drops or something like that to give it the appearance that it has a handle that moves. But I'm just going to drop that little brad right in, and then we're going to place it in that hole, and then we're going to come to the inside and open that up. I say I'm going to open it up. I need to open it up a little before I stick it in there. There we go. Get it started. There we go. All right, and then we're going to do the other side. Same thing. Just going to open it a little, get it started. Not a lot. And sometimes these things go with no issue, and sometimes you have to fight them every inch of the way. There we go. Get in there. And then we're just going to open that one up and open those little prongs. And now you have a handle that moves. Again, if you had to glue it, it's not going to move, but you still have the illusion that it will if you put some enamel dots. Now we're going to take these two tabs here, and we're going to place some glue on those. You do want to glue this. Your two-way tapes and stuff will not hold for these. And we're just going to be patient. And you can glue them to the inside. That's okay. Not going to hurt anything. Oops, you know what I did? When we folded, I forgot to do my top fold. Make sure you fold that score line. There's a score line around the top at the bottom of those funky folds. I forgot to fold it. Oh, it's not lost. I can still kind of pinch it in. There we go. I'm just walking it around. If you forget, then you'll know what to do. Just walk around and pinch those down. One more here. There we go. Now glue those together. And again, you've got your little tabs. You can glue them. I kind of pull mine off to the side and glue them, but if you want yours just to stick out like that, you can. But I'm pulling mine back and gluing it to the other side. Okay. So now we're going to go to this tab, and we're just going to run a little bit of glue in here. I just smeared it out. There's really not that much glue in there. Just going to pinch them. And then I'm just putting a dot of glue on that inside right there and gluing it to the wall. Okay. Same thing here. the dot of glue there if you want. Bring it all together at one time. And then our last one. My dot of glue back here. There we go. How cute! So now, I'm going to keep my glue from drying out. Now we're going to take these little guys. And you're going to need your quilling tool or your flower tool or a bamboo skewer, your tweezers, whatever you have. I like the look that I get by using the quilling tool. And I'm just going to roll that. And then I'm going to put a tiny drop of glue. Well, I say a tiny drop. I'm just going to go ahead and glue it as I go. Doesn't take much, just a little. And I rolled mine backwards, but that's okay. Roll it the other way. Just going to slide that off. And actually with your curl going this way, roll it away from you. That's the way it's supposed to be rolled. I rolled mine the wrong way. But it's not okay. If you do that, you can fix it. We're just going to curl it again. It's just easier to curl first. That's the way it should look. Okay. Just going to pull that off. So now I'm going to come in here, my bone folder, and start curling these the opposite way. And that's why I say it's easier if you do it right the first time. Pull those pieces back. See, even I make big boo-boos sometimes. I guess it's okay. Just get a few of them going out there. So then, I think I want them like that. I think. And I am going to use a glue dot just in case I want to move them. I'm just going to get a glue dot. Get a couple of them. And I just don't know. I don't know how I want to put them down. And a couple. So let's see. I know that my bow is going to go here. I guess I could go ahead and put this little guy together. Okay. Oh yeah, let's go that way. Didn't want him to stick yet. Okay. I'm going to say right about there. And then, I don't know, it's just I'm just putting them just side by side a little more than halfway. About a Cricut tool's width from the bottom. And now I'm going to get some glue dots on. I'm opening my bow to the two places, and I'm getting a glue dot on the back of each one. I can get it to stick. There we go. And you can hot glue your bow too if you prefer. Stuck to my thumb better than the ribbon. There we go. Alright, so I've got some glue dots on there, and I'm just going to place that right above that. Don't worry, we're going to hide it. And then I'm going to separate my bow, and I got my glue dots in the wrong spot. Isn't that the way? Let's see. I want that one down there. There we go. It didn't stick. There we go. Set your glue dots a little bit further back than I did, and you won't have that issue. Just kind of fluffing my bow out here as I go. And one more in the wrong spot. Had one right. Just kind of fluff my bow. Yeah. So it sticks where I want it. And then I am going to actually glue that on. The little glue just on the berries. How cute. I am using art glitter, so it's going to dry matte and clear if you get messy like I did. And you're using the same glue, no worries. If you're not, just be a little more careful. How cute is that, guys? And now, do I want to use... I think that I do. And I'm just going to just get this started open. And I am going to, well, I was going to pierce a hole. There it is. Be careful if you do this, and don't poke yourself. Just pop a little hole there. And then I'm going to go to the inside and open up that brad. I want to say I am. Both brads have to go in. This is such a cute file. How cute. I can fluff that out later. So stinking cute. And then, of course, you're going to want to drop in your candies. And you can, I'm using some of the Lint, some Ferrero Rochers. Just kind of pop those in. I should have put those on the bottom. Or just taken the brown paper off. How about that? Don't want to open it. And you can even drop in a couple of Ghirardellis. Why not? There we go. I don't like the Ghirardellis in there. Use the round ones. They're so much prettier. How cute is that?